Hey DOT community, this is another episode of the DOT Aftershow with Zalon and Bo. How you doing today, Bo?
Doing good, Zalon. Except our alliance got shaved this morning. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Well, this live stream that we had today actually had a new guest on. The new guest was one of the programmers for Dawn of Titans, and his name was David. So it was quite nice to see another new guest on. What did you think about him, Bo?
Oh yeah, no, I missed the first part of the stream because I was on a conference call and I couldn't get off.
Oh, okay.
But I did get to see him. I came in right when he was doing his battle at the end.
Okay.
Seemed like a pretty cool guy. Obviously, he played the game a little bit. He did pretty well in his battle there, and it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I agree as well. He didn't seem like he was too. He even at one point in the stream he did bring up the idea. He's like, "What if I went in with only three different troops?" And it's like, wow. Does that mean?
Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, yeah. There you go. If you take in 3 troops, then you can't lose more than 3, right?
Yeah. But also, too, sounds like he knows how to solo. So, just in general. But anyway, that means that's just a general practice. But anyway, so, of course, the entire stream, Dom had all these cracker jokes because ever since the beginning of the stream, Matt let everybody know exactly what the losers of today's competition were going to have to deal with, which was eating a whole bunch.
Oh, is that why he said crackers when I asked what Matt took in his tea, and he said crackers?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
There was a lot of Dom had a lot of cracker jokes today because it was all about these crackers, and I'll go into more detail later about that whole incident at the end because it was quite ridiculous. But with Matt up to 3 and the guest at 1 and Dom at 0, they actually did a handicap for Matt this week, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was not something I expected to happen, but at this point, with Matt winning as much as he has, it's understandable. So I'll tell you what, it was at this week's. It was Ian's idea, actually, last week's guest, Ian, that Matt do this, and that he decided to. He put all these different handicaps in the chalice, and of course He picked out has to only use shields in the battle contest today. So the only spell he could use was shields. Thought that was pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if they'll do that next time around now that Dom actually is on the board, or we'll see what happens because Matt's still in the lead. So so we'll see. But they had an Ayaka spotlight this week. They were all about Yak Face. So
good old Yak Face.
Yeah. Well, and why they had a spotlight is because tomorrow was stated that there's going to be an Ayaka pull event this weekend. Now, we don't know what other Titans will be involved in this pull, but Ayaka is supposed to be the main Titan in this pull event. So possibly other Poison Titans or possibly other Champion Titans. We'll see exactly which way they go, whether they go Element or Class. So,
okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But there is one twist, real quick, I just want to mention about the Relic Festival that's going on right now, and I'll pull this up after I get back out of battle, but I did not know that they until I logged on early this morning, that they have been changing everything day to day. There has been certain things, because I know yesterday was 50% better on fusion and cost, and today it's you get 3 drops per battle, so it's
True.
I wonder if they're going to be 3 relics per battle, though. I've only battled once or twice, and it was to capture neutral lands, so I don't know if that's.
But no, I think they have gotten the normal amount of troop drops and spell drops that I would get.
Oh, okay.
It's just I've gotten 3 every time.
All right. Yeah, I was wondering if you were getting more relics or not, but all right.
Yeah, well, it didn't matter. I mean, if I'm capturing an undefended land or what, I got 3 drops. So, got to make sure you do your monuments today.
Yeah. Well, another thing, too, just so you know, this is another kind of ghost fix that happened, which I don't know if a lot of people noticed, but your undefended land captures are back down to 1. So, that all got,
Yeah.
that reset back right after the last event, which I thought was pretty.
Right.
Which I thought was
They
interesting.
changed it during the event, and then they changed it back right after the event was over, and
Correct.
totally messed up my plan that I had going.
Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't know that they were going to change it back, but they did, and it was hard to find. It was hard to even notice because there was so many people without undefended lands that I was barely able to test to find out to see if it was one again. So it was quite interesting. But anyway, so I did what's it called? Put out a shout out to all the 5 non-toxic alliances, which Matt was quite surprised that we have 5 alliances. Oh, here I'm going to pull up that. This is the down here at the bottom. Today only claim 3 rewards from every battle you win guaranteed. So I just wanted to show that again. That's part of the new the last phase of the Relic Festival. And yes, that was another thing I was going to mention was the fact that I specifically told them that I enjoyed the Relic Festival. If you caught my previous video on some Relic token pulls and some fusions, it was pretty nice yesterday. So
I tell you what, I really like this the different elemental altars because I'm not one to pull gems. But I got some tokens.
Well, here, just because we said it, I did a campaign earlier today just to get another relic token. So just for this video, I'm gonna pull another one to see if I can get a 4-star. So
so I think this relic festival event,
3-star Earthbreaker.
And it's kind of a combo of the 3. It's kind of a combo of a couple of other 24-hour events,
Yeah.
That they've had, but the increased, the guaranteed 3 or 4-star relics for your specific element that you need, which is great. Combine that with a higher force % chance and a lower cost, for a day, and then today it's basically spoils of war,
Yeah, exactly. You're right on that.
It's probably one of the best like little mini events that they've done.
Yes.
And I certainly hope they bring it back in the future because but one of the things they need to fix though is the fact that all of the tokens went to the Earth altar this time.
Yes.
We need to be able to use our tokens on whatever element we want.
I agree.
Not just because I could use some fire, relics, some more fire relics than what I have. But all of my tokens were on the Earth, and I can say all of my tokens. My one token that I had was on the Earth, and I pulled it, and I got a 3-star Terra Firma, which is actually a pretty good relic. So I wasn't disappointed in that, and I hope they bring this back sooner rather than later.
Agreed. Also, too, I wanted to mention. Remember the Volstan weekend we had pull event, and this was I want to say almost a month or so ago. And I'm wondering if tomorrow's event is going to be like that as well. Being that see if they do some special things that they do during certain days. Like for instance, if it's going to be class oriented, they're going to make it so that all champions will fuse with double 2 times fusion, just for champions for one day, and stuff like that. I like it when they do multiple events inside of a grand event. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
So, when they have them thought up like that, I think that's a good idea. So anyway, and then we also need to go into here, hold on. Well, I have to jump back to a subject because I gotta jump out of game for something. We'll just do quick while I finish this map up. For Drawn of Titans this week, what happened was we got 2 different ones. Ian from last week. Well, there you go, 3 Goliaths at once. And Ian from last week from the art department. From the he deals with. Not exactly, he doesn't create the art as he just does a lot of the manipulation of art after the fact for the different social medias. But I was going to say he drew a Lethan Titan, which I thought was pretty amazing because very few get it really right off the bat, being that a lot of Elethans look very similar. But it was the 2-star Malix, which Karen Sayuri got it straight away, and that's the way they that's the way the Brits say it.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing.
I never would have gotten Malix. I think I've seen Malix maybe twice the whole game. You know.
Yeah. I was gonna say here I can pop up Malix real quick and show everybody. It was a pretty rough one when it comes down to knowing your 2 stars. But yeah, but when it comes definitely down to knowing right there is Malix right there, and that's again really rough. That helmet, I guess the gem jewel in the very middle would have been a little bit of the giveaway, but still very that's a tough one. And then the second one was done by John. He's a left-hander. That they made a point of that. Apparently, he's the only left-hander in the office, or maybe the only left-hander on the art staff. But he drew a Snowgore, which myself and Champ got pretty quickly. Actually, we got credit for that for those first two. I was proud because I was like,
did he do old Snowgore or new Snowgore?
Oh, new Snowgore.
New Snowgore. Okay.
Yeah. So I was pretty happy with that. But all right, so what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna jump out of game because I do have a couple things I need to show. One is going to be, hold on, this has to deal with the Fusion update. So what happened was recently, and this was not as well publicized. I mean, it was put on the Dawn Titans vlog, but wasn't really publicized or talked about really until this most recent live stream. And it was only talked about for a little bit. And that is the deal with how the level cap was changed. And what happened was, as you see here on the chart, we have the castle level 1 goes all the way up to level 40. You now, as castle level 1, you can take your Titans all the way up to level 40. And that's with your first rank of your Titan Hall. To get level 2 Titan Hall, you have to be at castle level 7. And that's when you can start fusing your Titans, fusing them past 40. You'll be able to do 2 levels per castle level, it looks like. So, yeah. It's a little hard to see the numbers here.
So that means that our cap is at castle level 16 now, is that right?
Correct.
Like the max Titan. Level 60.
Yes, as soon as you hit castle level 16, and have your Hall of Titan level above at a level 11, you have your Titans pretty much able to be maxed out in level. Which at this point I'm castle level 17, which is nice. I went from having to re-struggle in the game hardcore to get my Titans past level 46, to again being able to max out my Titans, which is quite nice.
Yeah, well, okay, I mean, that was a pretty quick adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened right after the survey went out.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if people use the opportunity of the survey to really voice their opinion on what they thought about the cap level.
Maybe.
Or if it was just a, we've got this in game and we're looking at the data and we're thinking that maybe we were a little bit too aggressive with the limiting and we want to just loosen it up. It was something they were thinking about before they did the survey. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it the way it is. I almost think that they went a little bit too far in the other direction this time. I was thinking more like a castle level 19 would be preferable for a level 60 Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of space it out in there. So instead of every 2 upgrades for a level, some of you only get 1 or whatever needs to be done. Space that out, but 16 is still pretty low in castle level. That's kind of mid-game,
Yeah.
But if you can have a maxed out Titan at castle level 16, then you really can take on the level 20, 25 players if you've got the right Titan and the right relic. So the other thing about them adjusting this is that it made me look like I knew exactly what I was doing when I decided to not worry about the level and worry about getting skills and relic slots.
Yeah.
because immediately I've got one Titan that's above the cap, but that's fine. That was Ulrich. And then but I've got all these low levels that I've got multiple skills and 3 or 4 relic slots unlocked, and they're like level 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now with the cap changes that they did, well now I'm not even limited anymore. I can just level up the ones that I want to. I don't have to worry about it. And I've already got the skills in the relic slot. It worked out well for me, but I'm pretty sure some people were a little bit, perturbed that they fused a bunch of Titans to get certain Titans above the level cap, and then a few days later they made a change that that level cap that you thought you were at is no longer what it was, and they feel like they wasted their Titans.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. It did prompt everybody to actually do something, because I'll tell you what. There's some people, such as myself, which are hardcore Titan hoarders, and sometimes we'll just never do anything with our Titans if we're not prompted or scared into getting into certain situations. So I'll be honest with you. As much as I may look back and say, oh no, my Sarkhan, I'm going to say, well, I could get another one in Season Rewards just because he's so common in Season Rewards. Or also, at the same time, I gave my Titan such a boost now that I'll never regret the fact that I have a level 57 4-star Titan. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing, actually.
Level 57 at capital level 17, you might as well call him maxed out and start working on somebody else.
Yeah, well, I am actually. I've been working on my Soulzar a lot in my videos. But anyway, so I'm gonna show this quick video from Matt. This is official Dawn of Titans. How damage is calculated. This is actually what's on our thumbnail for this video. So I do want to make sure that everybody sees this, and we're gonna talk about it as soon as it's over. All right, I'm gonna start this up.
Armor piercing, and elemental resistances. Armor piercing, and elemental resistances are all important for defending or attacking other players. The maximum percentage armor will reduce damage by is 70%. The maximum elemental resistances can reduce damage by is 90%. Players can have as much armor piercing as possible, meaning it is still important to have armor over 70%. Next, let's use this information in an example. Here are 2 Titans fighting off against each other. My Titan is Anunak. He has 10,000 health points, 50% ice resistance, and 50% armor. He'll have gained these from either skills or relics. The enemy Titan is an Illithin. The Illithin Titan does 3,000 ice damage. If the enemy Titan attacks and hits my Titan, the following damage reduction will occur. I have 50% ice resistance on my Titan. This means his 3,000 ice damage would then change to 1,500 ice damage. After resistance takes effect, armor will then take effect. This would reduce the damage by another 50% from its new value. This means 1,500 damage would then become 750 damage, and that's how many health points my Titan would lose. Now let's include armor piercing into this calculation. If the enemy Illithin Titan had 30% armor piercing, this would then change my Titan's armor from 50% to 20%. Again, the Illithin Titan would attack for 3,000 ice damage. The ice resistance would again reduce the damage by 50% from 3,000 to 1,500 ice damage. Because of his armor piercing, my armor is now only 20%, meaning 1,500 damage would only be reduced down to 1,200 damage, a reduction of an extra 300. So with this armor piercing, my Titan would lose 1,200 health points instead of 750 as previously mentioned. This same information also counts for units and spells. Resistances and armour works in the same way for reducing damage. This is why it is very important when attacking more powerful titans and armies, obtaining a good mixture of elemental resistances, armour, and armour piercing can be the difference between victory and defeat on the battlefield. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
All right. So, what do you think about that?
That was such a good video. I actually watched. I missed it on the live stream, but I went back and watched it because they posted it separately.
Yes.
That is exactly the type of information that we have been needing, guys.
Yes.
So we've been playing this game since December,
Mm-hmm.
and now we have an official explanation of how armor works. And I really like the fact that he gave us the order that the resists are applied in, and with examples of how armor, so you got your elemental resist first, that reduces the overall damage number, and then armor piercing is applied to the armor. So the armor number is 70 officially. Yay! We can stop asking that question.
Exactly. But again, that 70 is the max. But that's not saying that if the person has, this is another example that's not listed there, but this is again, 70 is max for the resistance, but for armor. The thing is though, if somebody has 150 armor piercing and you have and you have 100 armor, it's only going to be, it's going to be 50% against you. You know what I mean? Like, those numbers still are, if it's over 70, they still count. It's just 70 is the highest in the calculation. Is that what you get from that too? I just want to make sure you're on the same.
Yeah. That's exactly what he said. He said having armor above 70 is still useful because you can have armor piercing it up. It's not limited. So
correct. So somebody can have 200 armor piercing, and because you have 150 armor, it's still 50 in their 50% in armor piercing in their in their advantage.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes.
But that extra 50% just kind of goes away because once the armor gets reduced to 0, then
it doesn't matter. Correct. I'm just saying. Having any armor above 70 or armor piercing above 70 in either case is still very useful.
Yeah, so if the 70% comes in, if you have 100% armor, that doesn't mean you don't take damage. If you have 100% armor and they have 0 armor piercing, your armor is only going to reduce the damage by 70%. That's the max. But if they had, 50%, like you did in the example there, if they have 50% armor piercing and you had 100% armor, then your armor drops to 50% because of the armor piercing. It's a direct counter.
Correct.
So,
all right. Yeah. So, and then as we continue, that covers both of those two things that we wanted to talk about, because that was by far one of the best videos that I've seen, information-wise, that I've seen come out. So it's pretty awesome. But then we also have I Touch Matzer, one of my all-time favorite fans. He asked a question about Relic forging going to be like fusing, how that was changed. Matt's response to that is they're working on it. He can't give an exact time or anything like that, like the norm, but he at least took that question and definitely got let us know that is something that is being worked on currently right now. So it looks.
Yeah, my take on that was his answer to that question about the Relic is the same first answer they gave when they were asked about Titan fusion changes.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, we're working on it. We don't have a time frame yet. We'll let you know." And then it was what? It was several weeks later to when we finally got the fusion changes.
Correct.
About skills unlocked and relic slots. So, we're still probably, 2 months out from any sort of changes to relic forging, but at least we know that it's in the pipeline and it's being worked on, which is encouraging because right now, it is the most frustrating part of the game.
Yes. Very much so. That's why this most recent Relic Festival wasn't that bad, because I actually had more successes than I've ever had. So.
Yeah, no, I did too. I've used up all. I don't have any 1 stars and hardly any 2 stars left, and I even got rid of a bunch of duplicate 3 stars. I didn't get rid of any 4 stars. So.
Yeah.
But it was that was a good little mini event.
Yes. Then I was going to say, Yuki asked if what David's job entails, being a programmer. And he said it deals with mostly doing a lot of menus, a lot of the buttons, a lot of the interfaces that we deal with. But also at the same time, he has to deal with the troop formations, like how troops stay together. Also to how troops move around the map. How when you command troops, how they react. Also, too, when you don't command troops, how the AI takes over. Because I can command troops to attack a target to start with, but then after that target has been hit, or another group has killed that target, they need some sort of more information on what do I do next. Well, that's what he does in the game, which was quite interesting to hear about how that all, that we do have someone dedicated and how much it takes to actually go through and make sure that all that happens. He says because all the stuff that happens on the battlefield all at one time, it can be difficult to get certain small things fixed. As much as we love to, you love to look at a pane of glass and notice the small one little streak, and everybody loves to go, look. That's, again, I am so very much a part of that group that's pointing, but I do want to say that so many of us love to point at the one streak about the one small imperfection, but sometimes it actually takes a lot to get that one imperfection out really quickly. So.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. The troop AI is in these type of games is always one of the more, I would say, intricate parts. Like I know what I'm doing, talking about programming, but all of the things that are happening on the battlefield all at the same time. And you've got troops running around on both sides, Titans running around, and you've got our command, and
spells dropping.
The fact that it works as well as it does, most of the time is pretty darn impressive. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it was nice to hear again what David's job really includes. So it was nice. So as we continue in the stream, they did their battles. Matt's battle, he lost 7 troops. David's battle, he lost 6. And then in Dom's battle, he only lost 2 troops, and he got the win, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
So he was excluded from the end. What they they kept calling flaws or failures or something. It was interesting. They used a different term for, I guess, what we would normally call people doing like challenges. But yes, they were, but anyway, so the challenge was to eat as many crackers as you could in a 1-minute period without drinking water, which of course these crackers were huge. I'm used to the American saltine, I guess, because that's the typical cracker that's served with soup. But these, or Ritz crackers, they're all generally the same, not so big of size, and the crackers they were showing were like, like a small tile, like a piece of tile. So I was like,
yeah, those are rather large crackers.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pita,
Yeah, I was quite baffled how that they called them crackers, and I'm just thinking of small, crackers. But I guess that's just the American style crackers. But anyway, when it comes down to before all that, I'm sorry, we won't get totally in because that was at the very, very end. But yeah, Yuki was asking David how the power rating is calculated. This is also a question that's been asked for a very long time about how the power rating was actually determined. And his answer, he said, but without looking at obviously the code itself, he said that it's based on DPS, which is damage per second, combined with armor and armor piercing. Other than that, he didn't have it like anything else specific that he said to that answer, because I think it has a little bit more detail of an answer, but he didn't exactly have that right all in front of him to lay out there. But yeah, so it was quite interesting to hear that response, exactly how the actual power rating is calculated. I was going to say, I always noticed that, this is back to my old, my strategy back when I put my 3 under land strategy video out, and that was, I also showed off how I would put Krathos with his, troop buffs for back then it was pikemen, but Imperials, for the Imperials to be able to be boosted in damage, and I had 2 skills for that. And because I had 2 skills that were both boosting Imperial damage, it made it so that the troops, like when you put them down on defense, the rating would be astronomical. And that's the reason why we see such astronomical ratings for such titans as Krathos and Daedalus.
Yeah, I saw a Castle Defense. It's on our server.
Yeah.
3.96 million was the defense number. The level 60 was an Elysian Titan. I don't know which one it was, but I'm just like, holy crap! That's that's all buff. That's all buff troops.
Yes, it is.
That number just compounds when you have troops. Buffing the Titan is good, but it doesn't raise that number as much as buffing 10 sets of troops.
Correct.
So a lot of times that number is really inflated, but you got an Ulrich with 90% ice resistance. But he can take it.
Yeah.
So just it's a bit of a false flag defense there with that giant number.
Yeah. Well, we also have Champ asked right after Yuki how Titan names were created, and they discussed about how there was this guy, this mystical Tom that came out of nowhere, and did a lot of research on Nordic religions and a lot of mythologies from around the world, and came up with a whole bunch of different ideas for what the Titans should be named, because apparently what they originally had wasn't really good. So.
And then he said, I noticed that I think they said like Brandon or Brendan was the name of a Titan at one time. It's just like a normal name. And I'm like, oh, hey, we should have here. I got my new 4-star Steve.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
So they got the Brendan. Was it Brendan?
Yes.
That was an actual Titan name that they said.
Yes, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just a normal name. Just a normal sounding name. Nothing like Ayaka or Avalos or anything like that. And
yeah.
I thought that was it.
Well, and also too here to close out as well, Matt was asking for different ideas for possible new videos that they could make, and also for new things that they could use for any kind of fails that happen as well, which was pretty cool and pretty interesting. So. Yep, and then they ate, Matt and David ate the huge British crackers at the very end. That pretty much summed everything up at the very end. So, yep.
Yeah, there was one point there when he was stuffing crackers in his face. Matt looked like he was going to hurl.
Yeah, I know, right? That was.
I thought, oh, he's fitting to blow chunks, y'all.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as Matt is a showman, I'll tell you that he's quite the showman. So. And he doesn't let us down, I'll be honest. The week to week, it definitely has been getting more exciting. We've noticed in previous weeks on live streams that they're getting better and better and better. Not because Ben left, not because Fran left, but they're doing more things that they realize either that their audiences really like, but also too, we do like some entertainment, but we also like some information, but we also like, it's got to be filled with everything, all aspects, and we're starting to really see that. So
yeah, definitely. It's go back and watch the first live stream, and then compare it to the one we had today. It's a night and day difference.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like going back to watch one of mine or Bo's old videos and then watching the new ones that we have today.
Go watch the first video we did. It was obvious we had no clue what we were doing, and we still don't. But at least we're a little bit better at it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys.
Uh,
Well, that's pretty much all we have for this week for regular information. If we want to do any non-toxic information here at the end, I guess we definitely can go do that right now if we'd like.
Probably the biggest thing that's going on in non-toxic right now is we actually have 5 alliances this week.
Mm-hmm.
The latest one is NT Raiders, and we're in Master League. It is a temporary thing. It's just this week, but it's 25 of us. I think maybe 12 from your team, the 4-star team,
Mm-hmm.
and about 10 or 11 from Rogue Squad, and then there was a couple that came over from Maniac to join, and then 25 from the Raiders Alliance. We decided to get together and have a little temporary push team,
Mm-hmm.
if we could win the 4-star in Master League. Well, and that's great. It turns out that on our Master server, it's us and One Visions and Devil Squad and Viking, and we're top 4, and we're all within about 3 million points of each other. And we've been first, and we've been 4th, and so has everybody else in that group. So it's literally a 4-way run for first, and to make it even more exciting, NT Guardians is on the server with us. Devil Squad has a sister alliance on their server with us. There's an alliance on there that's somehow or another affiliated with One Vision, and there's 2 Viking alliances on this same server. So it's 4 teams with 8 alliances. And,
Wow.
That's when I said we got shaved. We for lunch earlier this afternoon. I got a message saying, "Oh, we're being shaved." Well, previous in the week, One Vision had already been shaved, and then Viking got shaved, and then Devil Squad got shaved, and I guess it was just our turn.
Yes, it was your turn at the barbershop. Whoa! Whoa! Hold on! I just got a 4-star Frost Spears. I have been waiting months for this. Wow! Now you guys saw that was just off a regular old land battle. That's a 4-star Frost Spears. That's huge. Oh man, that's serious Imperial damage right there. I have been waiting for a 4-star Frost Spears. All right, go on, Bo. That's a huge win right there.
I finally got a 4-star flame volley the other day, just from a regular old battle.
Oh.
So,
Okay. Oh, a 4-star. Okay. I was just gonna say 3-star flame volleys. I fused one in my video yesterday, and I considered it kind of common.
yeah, no, I had like 10 3-stars. But I've never gotten a 4-star. In fact,
No, yeah.
up until recently, I had never even gotten a 4-star drop in battle. Up until just 3 or 4 weeks ago. Since then, I've gotten probably 5. So I don't know if there's some player level or castle level that kind of triggers that. But I started getting 4-star drops right after I went to player level 20.
Okay.
And I don't know if that,
I've been player level 23 for a while, and I don't get 4-star drops that often.
Yeah. But so anyway, so it was our turn at the in the barber chair to get a shave, and we're still in first place where we were when we started this video by about 1.4 million or so, with
Okay.
Devil Squad right behind us. So that's kind of what's going on there. Rogue Squad's on a upgrade week, and we've actually, because we ended up being forced to promote last week in Rogue Squad, and we were in second place, and the first place team was ridiculous. They had like 150 million or something down in Elite League, and I'm like, well, there's no way, we're not. So we're actually going to take a demotion and go back to Elite League and get our first place win before we get promoted.
Oh, okay.
And Guardians is doing Guardian things. We've got a couple of players in there that going for it. To the Maniac, and Maniac's actually got promoted to Legend as well. Stumbino's over there running Maniac, and I don't know if they're going to just hang out in Legend for a while and go for 3-star rewards or what their plan is. But and you guys are on an upgrade week as well, right?
Yeah, we're on an upgrade week as well, but we know that everybody's going to be coming back here pretty soon after the season with you guys up in Raiders, so we're ready to rock and roll.
This week, the NC Raiders will be disbanded after this week because it was just a temporary alliance, and everybody will go back to where they came from. And who knows? Maybe we'll do it again down the road with the Raiders guys. It's been pretty fun, playing with new players and learning new strategies and learning new, counter strategies and that type of thing. It's been a good experience. A lot of times you get tunnel vision when you're in an alliance that does things the same way all the time. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Every so often, it's good to go out there and play with a different group of folks. You might learn something.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So.
All right.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. Well, I was going to say pretty much out here. I'm going to finish out here really with just what's going on with non-toxic here. We are in, I think it should be the 13th or 13th. Yep, 13th or 14th place. We've been kind of bouncing back and forth. So we're trying to get ourselves up and over that hump and get ourselves maybe into 12th place or something like that would be nice, or 11th. Pretty much after 11th place, though, there's a big jump. It goes from about 17, 18 million to like 23. So I have to say that our best chances is beating out these two groups in front of us and hopefully just getting a little farther in so we don't have to worry so much. But we are currently in 13th. What's up?
I'll have to pull up the Global Alliance leaderboard and see if Raiders is on there. If we're not, we should be close.
No, I think you guys are on here because I saw you earlier. Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No.
No, you guys got pushed off, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're running around.
No. What am I talking about? You guys are in 10th place. I immediately went right down to the bottom. Jeez, I feel so bad. I apologize, NT Raiders. I apologize. You guys are ranked 10. 10 in the world, so.
Okay, we did make the global leaderboard. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because there's Law Squad, Elite Squad, League of Gods, Stigfaka. I don't know what that is. A Stigfaka? I don't know. Warriors, Guardians, Mobka. Mobka's in my... I was going to say, the people that are running our league that we're in right now, they are... Wrong way. Can't go into league global players because then it gets slow. Yeah, we got League of Gods and Mobka and Requiem French and Phoenix up at the top and Quantum's Web and Ragnarok.
Oh.
We were expecting some retaliation from Ragnarok, but they haven't really noticed us. We've been just scooting under the radar as much as we can, so not too much Ragnarok issues or problems. We're just trying to stay in top 13, man. No, we're not trying to hurt nobody. We didn't try to hurt nobody. We just want to stay in top 13. So.
That's right. There's plenty of room. There's 12 spots for you to have above us. Go.
Yeah, that's right. That's why when people say that they want to be in a rank 1 team, always getting 4 stars, I want to be in the top 3 team. I'm cool with fighting for rank 3 or being in rank 2. I don't have to be rank 1 on a Legend League server. You can't think like that, because I'll be honest with you, there's still a lot of other players out there and a lot of other alliances. So hey, if we can be killing it with the 4 stars like we will be next week, we will be in top 3 again next week. Mark my words, for whatever server we find ourselves on. So
yeah, we thought, you and I have always discussed this about how since they changed the league rewards and there's only 1 4-star available in Master, that Master League is actually tougher battle for a 4-star than Legend League is.
Oh yeah, I'd say it is. I'd say it definitely is.
That is absolutely true. There's 4 of us, really 8 of us, because you got affiliated alliances in there, and everybody's like, oh, I saw you're such and such attacking your other player, and blah blah blah. Look, these people are complaining about, like, I saw somebody attacking, like Will. Say, like, I saw Will using his mini account to attack his garrison. That's not fair play. And I'm like, you're doing the same thing, dude. You know, you're feeding yourself VP lands from your sister alliance. How is that? You know, so people like to say, think that they have, this. Oh, we like fair play and we have the moral high ground. They all do it. Everybody does it. Some
Yeah.
people do it to a larger extent than other people do. Like for us, like when I'm not saying that we don't occasionally use an account to attack a garrison so I can go out and hit somebody without getting hit immediately, but we're not stretching it out to a 10-minute battle so I can hit multiple garrisons during that time frame. And most of the time, if I use my second account to attack my garrison, I need some resources for my second account to upgrade.
Yeah.
that's
true.
what I'm doing.
That's true.
And yeah, I'm feeding myself VP lands, but that's because there's only one, sometimes two, that come up in the neutral land. I'd rather get neutral lands than have to cap from another player, but
Yeah.
so rather than cap from another player, I'm capping from myself. It's all things that are allowed to happen in the game, and it gets a little hypocritical.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of 3 rewards at once. I just had 3 rewards at once all go up at the same time. That was pretty cool looking. But I was gonna say I agree with that. There's a lot of hypocrisies in the game. There's a lot of people that say be safe, cross the street at the appropriate places, but people jaywalk every day. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of hypocrisies in life, and there's a lot of hypocrisies in the game. So yeah, you'll find it everywhere.
Well, there's a difference between strategy and outright.
See what happens here.
Like using the hacking stuff and that type of thing. That obviously we do not condone that whatsoever. We draw the line, and we find out someone's doing that, then they're gone. But strategies that are allowed via the gameplay mechanic, even though some of them are not considered, exactly above board, and my biggest pet peeve is the stretching out of the battles, like what they call mini shielding. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep,
I
do.
When I say mini shielding, so you get someone to attack you, and they let the whole pre-battle timer count down for 3 minutes, and then they kill all the troops except like one set of grenadiers, and they let the Titan just stand there and get pummeled by grenadiers for the rest of the battle, and then in the end they lose. That's not something that we condone. But I don't tell my guys don't attack yourself with your mini accounts. But I do tell them if you're going to attack yourself with your mini account, make sure that you win, because otherwise, it is a little bit shady,
Exactly.
So, but yeah, that's what's going on. It's a chess match. I mean, it definitely is a chess match. But I think we're getting on towards the end game. Devil Squad threw the gauntlet down this morning, and we're formulating a response as we speak.
Excellent.
So.
All right. Well, I think that's all pretty much that we have. Now, we do know that there's going to be a pull event this weekend featuring Ayaka.
Yeah.
And besides from that, we don't know too many other details about it, so we are anticipating hopefully some other cool things that do come with it. Maybe some fusion bonuses, maybe who knows what. We'll see what happens. So, but if there are any bonuses,
no Souls event or Trials of Power type event.
No, nothing like that right now. But yes, we're still in waiting to see all the, to hear about anything new. But yes, so as I strike down a Kivu here at the very end of our show, I just want to say that I hope everybody's enjoying the current event, and good luck over this weekend if you are going to be participating in the pull event. So I guess for all the non-toxic gamers, I am Zalon.
And my name is Bo.
And we are signing off.